Hey folks, welcome to the exit lane. It's another month has come and gone, and so we're going to do our June 2018 expense report. And I get the same questions every month. We have no debt, so there is nothing in the expense report for motorhome payments or our Thousand Trails membership, or just no debt at all. We do have a storage unit if you watched our videos, and we've got a couple of storage units in Las Vegas. We don't include those simply because most people are smart enough to not have a storage unit, and so it's pretty irrelevant. We spend $3,000 a year, or really it's going up. It's like $3,500 a year. They raised, I guess they figure once they got all your stuff in there, you're not going to move out, so they raised the rent. We do not have a home. We're full-time RVers. We sold our home, stuck the money in the bank, and we're hoping that that'll be enough money to buy us another home, and we're as part of our exit strategy. If you haven't seen our video on exit strategy, I'll put a link up here. It's really an informative video, and a lot of people I think have got some. It helps get you to thinking about what are we going to do when we're done RVing. But that's our plan. Our big part of our plan is hopefully just buy us another house. So Thousand Trails, if you don't know how that works, we spent $4,000 for our Thousand Trails membership, and we bought it used. You can get a used membership. They're $6,000 to $10,000, and I've heard of $12,000 ones brand new. But Thousand Trails has 80 something campgrounds around the United States, the East Coast, the West Coast, and Texas, Florida. And you can stay in any one of those Thousand Trails for 1 to 21 days at a time, and then move straight in the same day to another Thousand Trails and stay from 1 to 21 days at a time. We have a 42-foot RV, and we've stayed in probably 30, maybe more than 30, probably close to half of them, and we've had no trouble finding a spot and no trouble with the spots being big enough. So we really enjoy Thousand Trails. We're a strong supporter. If you're going to go full-time RVing, you need to think about Thousand Trails. It compares in expenses with boondocking, and it's way cheaper than trying to rent an independent campsite, and it's way cheaper than your state parks and national parks and stuff. Boondocking, you got to buy all of your solar, and you don't necessarily get to take a shower every day or turn on the TV, or just use your stuff. There's some disadvantages to boondocking, but you get a boondocking, you have a lot nicer selection of places to go to. There's some beautiful places if you are set up to go boondocking. That in my mind, that's the big advantage, except for the beautiful places, which you're not in those all the time. Thousand Trails is real compatible, but Thousand Trails is not for everybody. It's an older parks. They're not resorts. They're not even RV parks. They're called preserves, and some of the stuff's kind of run down. They're working, I believe, now to upgrade everything. You see a lot of maintenance, a lot of upkeep going on. I don't know if that's just because we're on the East Coast and they're doing that, but the West Coast, they were pretty run down. But I think they're building them up. If you've got questions about Thousand Trails, you can shoot me an email. I'll put my email address here, and I'll tell you what we know about it. I'm not associated with them in any way, just it really works for us. So I think that's got most of the basics set up there for you. In the month of June, we drove almost 1,500 miles. We went to the Escapees Rally the last week of May, and we left on the 2nd. 2nd of June from Sedalia, Missouri, and drove up to Horseshoe Lakes Campground, just west of Indianapolis, Indiana. Stayed there a couple of weeks, went over to Indian Lakes Campground, stayed there for a couple of weeks. We have a nephew and his family there, and they came out to see us, and we got to see them. We really enjoyed visiting. And then we went up to Genesee Lakes RV Campground in Jefferson, Ohio. We were there about 3 or 4 days. I got up, this is Sunday the 1st. I got up Wednesday morning, and our Norcold refrigerator had pretty much blew up. there's a big lawsuit. We were involved with it. We got almost $1,000 out of it, but the cooling units overheat and corrode, and they spring a leak, and ammonia leaks out. Ammonia is very flammable, and it causes fires. A number of RVs have burned down, and a number of people have been killed. And we put, I think it's called ADP, cost about $150, a little safety device that if it overheats, it shuts it off, and then turns it back on whenever it cools down. We put that on about 3 years ago, and it shut it down. Wednesday morning I went out to check, reset it, and it shut it right back down. So I started kind of looking around, and then I saw the ammonia was leaking, and inside, shortly thereafter, we could smell a real strong ammonia smell. So we had, I have no idea, I'm guessing $500 worth of meat and produce and stuff in the fridge. We didn't know for sure what we was going to do, how we was going to fix it. And finally we got on the internet, we found there's an Amish cooling unit that is what a lot of people repair their Norcold with. You can buy one from Norcold, but in seeing it, and I'll show a little video here, you can see the Norcold one is much thinner, much less to it, and the Amish one is much more stronger, much more longer lasting. It cost about $1,200 for that cooling unit and $300 to put it in. The gentleman JR that owns it, he told me this was Wednesday, is about noon. He said if we can be there by 9 o'clock in the morning, he can put it, he'll schedule us in between two people and have us out by noon. So talked to Pearl, she does our driving. She says, yeah, we can do it. So we took off 280 miles. We got there at 9:30, spent the night in his parking lot. He had somebody in at 6:30, but by 8:30 he had us in, and we were out by 10:30 or 11. We waited an hour or so to make sure it was cooling down. It was doing good. We headed back home, and we were home Thursday night for one of Pearl's special dishes. She made us a zucchini taco boat dinner, and it was just delicious. Where she gets her energy and drive, I don't know, but this wouldn't be near as much fun without her. So that covers our travels. So we moved 4 times. We spent 28 nights in Thousand Trails campgrounds for free. Spent 2 nights outside of Thousand Trails, and one of them was at that parking lot, and then one of them was at Sedalia. And as a matter of fact, one night I didn't allocate to the month of June, so that probably, when we get to our camping, that should probably be about $50 more than what I've got, because I know I took it out of May. So far in the last 12 months, this column here is our totals, if you want to kind of follow along looking at that, and this column here is our monthly average. So we're averaging about 700, 800 miles a month, total of 9,500 miles. We're averaging moving 4 times a month, so that means obviously we're staying about a week at each place. Thousand Trails nights, we're averaging 26 nights a month in Thousand Trails, 4 nights a month outside of Thousand Trails. That can be at Friends, it can be in Walmarts, roadside parks, or independent campgrounds. And these 2 numbers here, we try to keep track, as you can see, of our diesel fuel costs. Average diesel fuel cost today, $6.85, $5.40. It goes up. Here's $45 on that month. So that goes up quite a bit. And then our average campsites. This is for each month so far. And we'll go ahead and start plugging in some numbers here. So diesel fuel, we spent $625 the month of June. We get about a little less than 7 miles to the gallon. So that'd be like 200 gallons, and it's costing us 3. Diesel fuel has gone up. We were getting it for $2.50, $2.60, and it's up to $3.25, $3.30, $3.40. So anyway, that's our diesel fuel. Oh, and we're averaging for the year $12.79, almost 21 bucks this month. And I'm guessing that's probably, we probably had a low tank. We filled up before we got here, started the trip, and then we had that big run. However, our miles per gallon still is falling right in there. Our campsites is 601 this for the year, 360 for the month of June. And as you can see, it goes up and down. As you can see, it goes up and down quite a bit. So as you can see, it goes up and down quite a bit each month, but we're averaging 601 and then almost 13 for diesel fuel per night. Motorhome repairs, license plates, any kind of extra thing on motorhomes, and that was $1,500 for that Amish cooling unit. Our air, oil, and fuel filters for our generator, we bought all those and got those on. We bought some memory foam cushions for, we use those while we're traveling, and then we put them in our chairs when we're sitting around the camp. They really turned out nice. Bought a new cordless drill. We ran through some tree branches and it peeled off our rooftop Wingman antenna. So we just bought a new antenna. I hadn't put it on, but it arrived today. We bought a couple of capacitors for our number 3 air conditioner in the bedroom, and I still hadn't got that working even with the capacitor. So I'm down to the circuit board. About the only thing left. Some antifreeze for the Hydro Hot, some polish, miscellaneous, 2,000 bucks. And your maintenance, I mean, you just can't, you can budget for maintenance, but it can any time, your refrigerator, your transmission, your tire blow out, I mean, there's always something new in maintenance. For the car, we had our, I didn't put it in there, but our registration, I think it was $350. We bought a tank of gas and had the car washed. And our RV and our car was running about the same average, but our RV the last 2 months has jumped up. It took off and left the car. It's double what the expense of the car is. That fuel is in there too. RV and auto insurance, we pay $1,200 a year for the RV and about $800, I think. So this number is wrong. Our RV and car insurance, we spend $175 a month. I'll have to correct that here in a little bit, but $175 a month in insurance. Now we don't haven't had full-time coverage. We still don't have full-time RV coverage. We live in our RV, kind of like homeowners insurance. If you go full-time, you need to get this full-timers insurance. Costs a few $100s extra. And we went with Miller's Insurance Company. They got us a bid. It's going to be about $1,400, $1,450 or something. So that's going to pop up about 200 months. I think we're going to start that in August. So scratch this. I'll change that in a minute. Our groceries, we're running about $850 a month for groceries. And groceries is everything we buy at a grocery store. Paper towels, soap, cleaning, groceries, liquor. We spend probably well over $100 a month on whiskey and wine and beer, and you could probably take $1,500 a year out of our grocery bill if you don't drink. That's an automatic savings. But that's everything we buy in a grocery store. Dog food and cat food even goes in there. We don't break anything out. Dining out, $271 this month. We're averaging about $250, so that's right on track. Internet and cell phone. Our internet, we have 2 little Jetpack MiFis from Verizon on the unlimited plan. We get 15 gigabytes each on those, and then both our phones have unlimited data. And once you get past 15 gigabytes on any one of those 4 devices, it slows down. We can still surf the internet and watch videos and, you know, do most things, but it definitely slows it down. So that works really good for us. I've kind of, to make it last, that total of 60 gigabytes of high speed. When I upload videos, I usually go to the library or something and not use our personal data plan, and that's making it work out a lot better. And that's with Verizon. DirecTV, that's just that's what we pay, $156. Medical, that's a big one. We're obviously 70 years old. We're on Medicare, and we have to pay $126 each for our Part B, And then our Part D, the drug plan, is 17 bucks a piece. And we bought a Medigap plan. Started in January. That's 109 for Pearl and 116 for me. That covers all of our co-pays and deductibles on Medicare. And it's it's definitely more than we wanted to pay. But we decided we just didn't want to risk it if somebody really gets a medical issue. We don't want a big, huge medical bill. So we jumped on the bandwagon. 0 on pet care. Okay, good. Recreation and hobbies. I took a class, $50 class on the camera. I've got a Canon 80D, and it's just way more sophisticated than I am, and I'm still having a hard time with all the features. It's just way smarter than I am. We went to a wine tasting. We met some great people, Todd and Nancy, and they are out of Akron. We've been communicating with them for 6 months, I think, about maybe getting together, and they're wanting to go full time. And they ended up coming over to our camp and visiting with us, and we did a video with them. And we liked them through the emails, but after we met them and we went and had dinner with them and went to a wine tasting and stuff, just awesome people. I sure hope we get to meet up with them again. They're going to go full time in about 14 or 15 months, I think. Computer hardware, nothing. Clothing, nothing. Mail, we had our daughter send all of our mail, goes to our daughter. We use her address as our home address, and then as we get important things we need, our registration and stuff for our RV and our car came in, so she sent those to us. So that's our expenses. So this month was our most expensive. Last month was our most expensive, but we even beat last month. $5,500. That's basically $185 a day that we're spending. We've had as low as in the mid-low 70s, but that is hopefully it's not a sign of things to come. We've had like a tough 2 months on maintenance and unexpected expenses. Our total expenses almost $45,000. We're averaging $3,700 a month. And we do a thing that, just in case if the government decided to cut Social Security or something like that, we try to keep track of what we think we can get by on. So we go through and we take out all the extras and see if we just really had to cut back where we could get to. And what I'm going to do is hide some of these columns so we can see all this. So everything here in green is stuff that we think we can do away with. For example, diesel fuel. We spent $4,600 on diesel fuel, and we decided we could cut that in half. We can cut our miles from 9,500, cut that down to whatever it would be, 4,700 or something, and drive like $5,000, 5,000 miles a year. Our campground fees, we figure we stay exclusively in Thousand Trails and not upgrade to any 50 amp electricity, not stay in any other parks. This does pay, we've paid $21.92. This here includes still paying our dues, getting rid of the Trails collection, just paying our basic Thousand Trails dues. So we took out everything extra there. With motorhome repairs we kept, auto we kept, insurance we kept, groceries and liquor. Dining out goes away, no more dining out. Pearl's a wonderful cook. We're both very fortunate. She loves to cook and can cook, so all the dining out goes away. We left internet and cell phone in there. We took out all the DirecTV, left all the medical in there, and then all these here came. We kept the mail, but everything else went out. We figured we could save almost $14,000 a year if we had to, for a total of $30,000 is about a lower number as we think we can make do with. Truth be known, if there's any way, you're probably just like us, all that stuff is not going to go out. You're going to stop and buy a hamburger sometime, or you're going to go out to dinner for your anniversary or something. There's going to be things. Your cell phone's going to break and you're going to have to get another one. So if people do it for a lot less, there's no doubt they can, and we could too, I guess, if we had to. But we think that this lifestyle for us is going to cost us between $30,000 and $45,000. So that's the budget. That's June. Hopefully this information helped you a little bit, and if you enjoyed the video, please, we sure appreciate it if you give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. It helps us. What it does, it helps folks that are just surfing around. If you subscribe, give us thumbs up, write some comments. It helps our videos go up higher and people find it. Other old geezers like me that are looking for this stuff, trying to figure out how to do this, they can find another old geezer, not all the young folks that are out there having a great time doing what they're doing, but it's a little bit different than what us retired folks are looking for. So, hope you enjoyed it. Keep the wheels rolling, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. So we drove 1,400 miles. My coach over there helping me out a little bit in the background. For those of you that have made videos with me understand that I need a coach. I just want to give her a little shout out there, baby. How you doing?
You might want to pronounce Indiana correctly next time. It's Indiana.
Okay. So if you're done, I'll go ahead and start again. So anyway, we drove 1,400, almost 15.